Welcome to IHIP News. It looks like Donald Trump has been bought, paid for, and purchased by none other than Elon Musk. It is unbelievable what is happening. So Moses Mike Johnson has the budget bill to fund the federal government. Elon Musk, who has zero government experience, goes on a psycho tweeting extravaganza overnight, threatening all of the Republican congressmen, and they all start folding like a cheap suit. Hours later, the president-elect sends a similar Truth Social, but his boss, Elon Musk, beat him to the punch.
Well, it's interesting because it's trending on Twitter/X, President Musk. So the egos are flying, but it is unbelievable to me that someone that has more money than anybody in the world is crafting and vetoing or approving legislation in the federal government, not elected. And here's the deal. I love that Mike Johnson is so fucked on this. It could not happen to a nicer guy. He deserves it. And I'm here for all of it. But here's the thing I was thinking about this morning. Elon Musk, richest person on the planet, he doesn't give a shit if veterans don't get their checks, if the government is shut down. As long as his ketamine source is up and running, he's good to go. So he has zero qualms about this. And it's the enablers, but I go back to President Musk is trending. When is Trump going to get his feelers hurt that his boss gets more recognition than he does and more airtime?
Let's dive into that. So Elon Musk paid $250 million to get Trump elected. Trump was running for president to avoid legal problems, potentially jail, incarceration. So does Musk own him? Does he own him? Because Musk is the one that seems to be driving the transition. Mm-hmm. He seems to be the one that's running the president-elect's policy right now. Donald Trump is the last one to the party to show up on social media about this budget bill. It's all Musk, Musk, Musk. Imagine for a second if George Soros were parading around with Barack Obama or Joe Biden. Imagine the Level 5, Stage 10 freak out that would ensue on the right. I mean, for years, they've thrown all of these anti-Semitic tropes to George Soros, and they've gone bananas because he funds and donates to a lot of Democratic causes. He's never been intricately involved in policy and palling around with the president-elect or president. So I think it's wild. But remember the other day when I was talking to you about what's going to happen with Donald Trump's base, which tends to be the overtly religious right.
Right.
Because it seems like he is favoring his new billionaire BFFs. So watch this. Steve Bannon, who's a total nut, I mean, no question about it, but I just thought this was completely interesting because I played a video of him the other day. Yes. And he was in a different scene and he had all these images of Jesus behind him. Do you remember that? Yeah. Well, in this video, he's just has some curtains behind him, but listen to what he says here about Moses Mike.
Oh, no on this. Make the Democrats pass the whole thing. Hell, Johnson's a Democrat. He's a Democrat. He holds the Bible up. He's got the New Testament wrapped up tight. He can talk happy talk on a handful of social issues, checking his son's porn site. I don't know, all this crazy nonsense. He does all that. He goes down there. He's a big, deep Christian, except when it comes to showing courage and being courageous and maybe bringing people in so it's not a surprise. So now the media can sit there with a big old shotgun to your head and go, oh my gosh, no Social Security checks. It's going to be cold. It's going to be dark for Christmas Day. Granny's going to freeze. Not going to get any mail. No Christmas presents going to go over. CNN's going to have that big camera everywhere. Kids crying. No Santa. NORAD's not going to be able to track Santa on Christmas Eve. NORAD will not do it.
Okay. So isn't it interesting that he is making fun of him for being a total Bible thumper? He sounds like we do.
Well, that's what I was going to say. He's saying the same shit we say.
Last week on his set pumps, he's sitting there and it's all this Jesus stuff behind him. Right. And here he is browbeating Mike Johnson for being a nut, talking about the porn use. And so the Republican cannibalism is already starting. And I know we were all in just great despair.
Yes.
We were all like, how can we stomach watching this? And what I have to say to you listeners, get your popcorn ready because let's go. This is a level 5 shit show.
Yes.
We need to watch it. We need to report on it. The oligarchy is in full swing. Donald Trump, we saw the condition that he was when he was campaigning.
Yeah.
He has been pushed to the corner. They have put baby in a corner. Baby's
in a corner.
Baby is in a corner, Pumps.
I love this so much. And I will tell you, when all of this started coming out, it just did put a little pep in my step because I've been really sad.
I know.
But it's like, oh my gosh, it's happening. They can't govern because they're too crazy. They're too crazy. Incompetent, yes. Crazy also.
Okay, let me tell you this. So I was watching CNN this morning because I won't watch Morning Joe anymore.
Right.
And they're covering this whole spending bill thing to keep the government funded. And I'm trying to take notes in my iPhone of the Chiron. And it keeps changing like every 2 seconds. I'm not kidding. One of our viewers is going to have to find it. And so originally the Chiron says government shutdown scrapped after Trump takes deal. And then literally 5 seconds later, they changed Trump to Musk. And it keeps going back and forth, back and forth. And as I'm looking at my phone and looking up to type it, I'm like, okay, the mainstream media, corporate media is already being schizophrenic. They don't know how to cover this. It's like, oh, do we placate to Trump or do we placate to Musk? What do we do here? We already know ABC folded like a cheap suit. Apparently, George Stephanopoulos is madder than hell about it. As he should be. Because Donald Trump is already threatening, or I think he's already filed a lawsuit against the Des Moines Register.
Yes, and Seltzer's poll, because it showed his base support wasn't as strong as it was. Now, here's the deal. You are a waste of time. That is the dumbest thing I have ever heard, that he's going to sue somebody for a poll. I mean, it's crazy, but here's the deal. He's so litigious. That's how he shuts people up. He's going to start suing everybody. Here's the thing. What I'm waiting for, Musk and Trump getting at odds because, as you have correctly pointed out, Musk and Putin are big buddies. So Putin to Musk, Musk over Trump. Well, at some point, the self-destructive part of Trump, they're going to have an ego fight like nobody's ever seen. So then what happens?
Unless they have the goods on him. You know, like that's the one component that's out there that makes me curious. Now, Trump doesn't have the discipline.
Right.
You know, like it'll be 3 a.m. and he'll start cap locking and all of this stuff. But I want to read to you a series of tweets from Senator Chris Murphy. And he says, it's happening in front of our eyes. It's accelerated rapidly in the last 24 hours. Not sure why everyone doesn't see this. Number one, can I take a minute to connect the dots on how Trump is putting into action a plan to cripple our democracy in a way we may never recover from? Number two, he wasn't kidding when he said Democrats were the number one threat to America and needed to be dealt with by law enforcement and the military. Today, House Republicans' referral of Liz Cheney for criminal prosecution on made-up charges shows you the plan. Number three, who will stand in the way of Cheney and others being put in jail? Not DOJ. Kash Patel was chosen to lead the FBI because he wants to prosecute Trump's opponents. Number four, not every Trump opponent will fold, but many will. If you have a family at home, are you really going to stand up to Trump if there's a chance you could end up in jail? History shows that selective prosecution of regime's opposition has a broad chilling effect. Number five, the second part of Trump's plan is to use the White House to destroy the free media. Today's lawsuit against the Des Moines Register, just because they released a poll showing a close race in Iowa, is stunning. We shouldn't pretend this is normal. Number six, already you see the big media companies are giving in. ABC paid Trump $15 million, even though his defamation suit had no merit. Bezos told the Post not to endorse against Trump. MSNBC is up for sale because Comcast doesn't want to get in trouble. Number seven, sometimes Trump will win these suits because he controls the DOJ and some courts, but other times he doesn't care. After he lost one case against a journalist, he said, quote, "I did it to make his life miserable, which I'm happy about." He gladly admits it's about intimidation. Number 8, Trump has also said he will use the FEC and regulatory agencies, all of which will be run by his blind loyalists, to intimidate news orgs. Even if he uses this power rarely, media companies have already shown they are reluctant to put up a fight. Number 9, is there a chance that this is all show and bluster? Maybe. But these developments of just the last few days, ABC's bogus statement, the referral of Cheney for prosecution, Trump's suit against the Register, all point to this being very, very real. Listener, Pumps and I have found the perfect gift to give relatives and family members. It's called the Aura Frame.
We loaded our Aura frames last night for family members, and they're so amazing. 150 photos are on the frame, and you can put more. And we ordered another one, and we're getting it tomorrow.
Aura Frame is named the #1 digital photo frame by Wirecutter. Aura Frames are incredibly smart and easy to use, allowing you to upload unlimited photos and videos directly from your phone to the frame. Plus, you can order the frame online and preload it with photos and videos using the Aura app, so it's ready to go right out of the box. Listener, this is the best gift you can give. It is an Aura digital picture frame. Save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off best-selling Carver mat frames by using the code IHIP at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code IHIP. This deal is exclusive to our listeners, so get yours now in time for the holidays. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, he told us he was going to do this, and now he is. And then I find it interesting, the Liz Cheney would probably be my last pick to go after first. And here's why. Cheney has unlimited resources. She was actually a member of Congress when she investigated. She's going to be able to relitigate the entire January 6th insurrection in the public sphere to prove her defense. So I would have chosen someone with less resources, a lower profile, because I think she's going to be a real tough nut to crack.
But do you think they realize that? Is that where you've always said their incompetence will checkmate them? They will checkmate themselves with their own incompetence. You just played the tape through. Are they playing the tape through?
Probably not. They want it in the news. They're going after enemies, and they're already getting so much surrender, and he hasn't even taken office.
So does that benefit us? Their inability to play the tape through. They go all chips in on Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney lawyers up like nobody's business, and it's guns blazing. And then, then you've got Steve Bannon, all of this inner turmoil on the right that's already starting. Bannon's clearly jealous,
obviously,
of Musk's proximity. And they're going to have Musk, who at the end of the day, he wants to beat Putin. He admires that he is arguably, let me say, the richest man in the world, richer than he is, and he holds all of this power.
Right.
And that's Musk's next frontier. And so when the dumber MAGAs in Congress start all this stuff like they did with Hunter Biden, they start this with Liz Cheney, does it spectacularly backfire because they do not have the ability to play the long game in this? They're so short-sighted in the quick news cycle.
What I am counting on as the biggest savior to the country right now is their incompetence. Because all of these things that, mass deportation, that takes an amazing amount of infrastructure, money, organization between agencies. Same with all these prosecutions. Even if you find someone, let's say all these nuts refer her for prosecution and they start to prosecute her. Even if Kash Patel in his role as FBI director prosecutes her, you've got to convince a judge. And I know he's got judges in his, the Aileen Cannons of the world are out there, but it's going to be harder and harder and harder for them to achieve the goals they're talking about. And I really do think the safeguard of our democracy is their inability to govern and straight up incompetence.
All right, guys, we'll see you later.
It's so